Hello, welcome to Where We Knit, a podcast where I focus on not only what I'm knitting, but where I'm knitting. Today I'm in Minneapolis and I'm knitting on my paddleboard in the middle of Lake Harriet. It's a sunny and beautiful day in Minneapolis. This is Lake Harriet, a small lake in the southwest portion of the city of Minneapolis. And I can't wait for you to join me. So welcome to Where We Knit. Hello. Welcome to a new video podcast called Where We Knit. My name is Kristen and I'm coming to you from Minneapolis, and it's a sunny and beautiful day here in Minneapolis. And on this podcast, my goal is to focus on what I'm knitting and where I'm knitting and 3 of my favorite things each week. So come along for the journey with me, and I'm excited to get started. This has been on my bucket list to film some of my favorite things for years, actually. And I'm a teacher here in Minneapolis and have the summers off. My kids are older, and so it's time. It's time for me to take this moment and really sort of share with the knitting community, bring people together, and just really relish in all that I love with fiber and knitting and sewing, a little bit of sewing. I'm not great at sewing, I'm trying to get better. But here I am. So thanks for watching. I hope you come back. I hope I keep doing this. We'll see. I'm not super techy, but I'm gonna try. I'm putting myself out there. So thanks for watching. I'm gonna focus on today where I am and where I have been knitting, since that's kind of the premise of this vlog or video podcast. And so today I'm gonna talk to you about where I am, and here I am at Dandelion Fibers. Dandelion Fiber Company is a local yarn store right in the heart of Minneapolis, South Minneapolis, and I teach classes here. And I'm lucky enough to come here and knit with the 2 owners, Tiff and Lara, who are a delight. And I come here often. I have classes about once a week, sometimes more in the summer when I'm not working. And I love it here. It's a great place to find a sense of community and also get some great yarn. And I love it. So if you're in the Minneapolis area or traveling to this area, please check it out, Dandelion Fiber Company, and I will put a little piece right up here. So what am I wearing? I'm wearing the Rota jumper. The Rota jumper is a brilliant pattern by Irene. She also has another one that is a sleeveless version. This one is knit in, unfortunately, a discontinued yarn. The yarn that I used, the pattern calls for Aran weight. I'll put a little picture over here. But I love it. I knit mine in 2 strands of fingering, cotton, 100% cotton by Pearl Soho. And again, I had just said that this cotton is discontinued, but there's so many amazing cotton yarns out right now for summer knitting that you could hold 2 strands of any cotton, or you wouldn't even need to use cotton. So check it out. I mean, I love it. It's cropped. I can kind of show you how it fits. It's kind of cropped and oversized, but I love it. It is just like the perfect thing to put on over a tank top in the summer. I can also wear it in the fall here in Minneapolis with, just a short sleeve shirt underneath it. I'm teaching a class on it in August here at Dandelion Fiber Company, and I'm going to make the sleeveless version. I'm thinking about making it in black, but that is what I'm wearing today. So the cotton, I think I said, was from Pearl Soho. I believe it's called Buttercup cotton. although it wouldn't matter because it's no longer available at Pearl Soho. So yeah, so that's what I'm wearing today. Some things that I have that are on the needles that I wanted to share is I just picked up the pattern, the newest pattern from Ozetta for her straight tee. So I love it. I just started this a week ago and I've already done one sleeve. It's just like, I love the construction. I love the saddle shoulders. It makes it look really professional. My friend Nell, when I got this out at Knit Group yesterday, looked at it and was like, that looks store-bought. Not necessarily that I'm striving to look store-bought, but I do really love how professional it looks with the construction. So another brilliant pattern by Ozetta, but I really, really love it. I'll put the pattern up right here. So I am using, which I hardly ever do, I am using the recommended yarn. I had it for another garment. It was just in my stash, which I bought at Rhinebeck this past year. And it is the Sauna by Wooldreamers. And I love it. It's 50% wool, 50% cotton. It's so soft. I can't imagine what it's going to feel like when I finally block it. But it's a perfect little t-shirt that I can also wear into the fall. These are the two colors that I'm using. This sort of creamy one is called Sarah Chef, and the blue one is called Notes. And I love it. I think it's, I'm knitting the size small. I've tried it on. It's knitting right up. I obviously knit it right on gauge. I am super serious about gauge swatching. You'll hear me talk about gauge swatching throughout this podcast and other episodes. I just feel like I have been burned way too many times. I'm a lazy swatcher for sure. I don't do the 4x4 square, hardly ever. But I do enough, and I do it in the round, but I don't snip the back because I even soak it on my needles and then reuse the yarn after because I'm so afraid of running out of yarn, even though I know I have enough. So I'm a swatcher, but I'm a lazy swatcher, and I'm proud to say that either way, I swatch each time I knit something, unless of course it's like a bag or something. So anyway, that's one thing that I have on the needles. I love it. It's so cute. And the next thing is made out of Knitting for Olive, which they carry here at Dandelion Fiber. It's hard to find this yarn brand, like in the Twin Cities metro area. I find that a lot of people talk about it on other podcasts, and I've been intrigued for a really long time. So we have the wool cotton here at the store. We have the cashmere. We have the just the merino, and then the chunkier like merino worsted here, as well as the 100% silk. So I first of all, I love this color. I mean, you can't go wrong with that color for me. And I am making my favorite things knitwear camisole number 9. So it's knitting up pretty beautifully. I'm excited to kind of sew down this top part here for the edging of both of the arms and the collar. I have to say this was a challenge for me when it comes to tension and swatching. I tend to row out, but have kind of changed my way of purling a little bit through the recommendation of Andrea Mowry. She has a beautiful video tutorial about combination knitting. I'll put it in the notes below, but in the description below. But it kind of changes the way that I purl when I'm going back and forth. If I'm just going in the round, obviously I'm just knitting, but I find that I oftentimes row out when it's the top of something, and for sure if I'm knitting a cardigan that's not going to be steeked. So I've kind of solved that problem through watching that suggested video of Andrea Mowry doing the combination knitting. So if you also row out, I highly recommend that video. I thought I'd also talk about sorry, I'm looking down. I'm just looking at my next project that I wanted to share with you. I am doing a class here at Dandelion Fibers called Christmas in July, coming up obviously in July, where I will focus on thinking about gift knitting, and it's time to get started. So you're not sort of like running right to the deadline for holidays coming up in the winter. So I am making something called the Nomad Slippers. I'll put a little picture up here. I've seen them on Ravelry forever and they've been in my favorites. And so finally I'm like, okay, I'm gonna knit these as a sample because they'd be a beautiful gift to give someone this holiday season. So the construction is really great. You make the soles first. So here's a little sole, it's double. So you just knit them in the round and then you decrease and you Kitchener them up together, okay? So these are the soles. It is a paid for pattern, so I don't want to tell you too much about it, but it also combines these little soles, and then you do some honeycomb brioche to make that little flappy piece on the top, and to go around the outsides here for the slipper. They're so cute. And if you're like me, I don't like to go to bed with cold feet. And so, no pun intended. And so I ended up liking something like this past winter, because I would put them on, and then unlike socks where you have to like sort of wake up yourself to like take them off, or you can do that in your sleep too, but I found that I was just taking off my socks midway through the evening, and then while I was sleeping, and then you know they end up in the sheets, you can't find them and whatever. So these are just easily, they're like kind of like a Turkish bed sock where you can just wear them to bed and then they'll just slip right off. So it's not so much work not that it's too much work to take off socks in the middle of the night, but I think you know what I mean. So what am I knitting this in? This is one of my favorite yarn dyers. It's a local yarn dyer here in Minnesota. Susie from Fiber MacGyver, and this is her Merino Twist, which is 80/20. And the color is called Concord, which is I love it. And the pattern called for Sport, but this is a fingering weight. So I added some tin silk mohair, and that is what got me this sort of beautiful kind of marly looking color. And so I am excited to finish these. I think I could probably almost get 2 pair out of maybe 1 skein of this. I'd probably have to get more of the tin silk mohair, but I'm excited to give these as holiday gifts this year. So knitting up this sample would be really great. It also helped me learn a little bit more about honeycomb brioche. There's some beautiful, wonderful tutorials that are that you can click in the pattern that kind of show you exactly how to construct these slippers. And so I highly recommend the pattern. It's a really great pattern. It is by Elin Berlin by Wool and Beyond. And she does a beautiful job. I haven't knit any of her other things, but these came up on my Ravelry as like something I might like, and by golly, they were right. I do. I really love them. This section, I'm going to move on to talking about a few of my favorite things. And so this could be things related to knitting or sewing, or just things related to what I really like. These are not endorsed. I'm not getting kickbacks for any of this. I'm not asking for free products from any of these companies. I'm just simply telling you these are a few of my favorite things. So one thing that I've just discovered is this brand of nail polish by Londontown. They have a variety of colors. I have been using, I think I got it for Mother's Day maybe, is this cuticle remover, which I really love because my hands tend to be really dry. And also this illuminating nail concealer, they call it. So they call it nail concealer because if you have really ridgy nails, when you do your own nails, I try to do my own nails. I do really like to go every once in a while to have my nails done professionally, but I also find joy in just doing them at home for myself. And I love this nail polish because I have ridgy nails, and it just takes the ridges out and smooths my nail in the nail bed, and I love it. And this color is, gosh, I don't even know. I'm not sure what it is, but it's just this beautiful light lavender. It probably is not going to show up very well on this podcast, but anyway, I encourage you to check out this Kerr nail polish. I ended up getting this as a gift, like I said before, but now I went in and purchased a whole bunch of different colors because this nail, and it lasts forever. I'm a teacher, as I said before at the beginning of this and this podcast, and I wash my hands, no lie, probably 30 times a day. And so it makes my nails kind of dry, and my nail polish always chips. But this, I have to say, it lasts forever. So it is a really good, well, not forever. Let's just say a manicure, if I do it to myself, lasts about 2 weeks. And for me, that's all I need. So, so that's one of my favorite things. Another of my favorite things is a little gift that I got from Tiff and Laura here at the store. I have been knitting so much, especially on these days off that I have for the summer. I don't have to go back. I think I'm off from like mid-June all the way until the end of August. So I am knitting a lot. And it's embarrassed to say how much I do knit. And even when I'm working full-time as a teacher, a lot of my downtime I am knitting. It just really brings me joy. It's a really good stress reliever, like all the things you read. It's good for your brain. And so I do knit a lot. I get up before work so I can knit for like an hour before I go work out. I mean, I'm crazy about knitting. So I have been, though, having a lot of shoulder pain and arm pain, and got tennis, I didn't just get it, but I started having the feeling of I have tennis elbow. So I went to my chiropractor, who was fantastic. And he gave me all these stretches, and I've been really religious and kind of getting rid of that pain that you get from tennis elbow. But to make a long story short, I got this, if you're a mom and you nursed your babies, you know about the boppy. Do you remember the boppy? Where you'd lay your baby, it's a lot easier to nurse them, whatever. Okay, I had the boppy. But now they have this giant, it has a little clip that you can clip it behind yourself. And the reason they gave this to me as a gift so graciously is because they need me to keep knitting because I'm teaching classes here. But also my chiro told me that if I have my arms up and resting on something, let's see if I can kind of show you how I do it. So anyway, so it's like this, and knitting like this rather than knitting with my arms in and my shoulders up. See how my shoulders are up? So if I have my arms resting on this, it's not a boppy, I'll tell you what it is in a second. But if I have my arms resting on this, it creates less tension in my shoulder and my arm, because my arms are resting and I'm not having to hold it up. Plus, it also, my head isn't going down so much. My arms are up here and I'm knitting, so I don't have to look down as much. So, Ergonomics. I know there's so many people, like the knitting PT. I mean, I've followed her and watched her things for quite some time, and she has some really good stretches too. But this is really one of my favorite things. And it is from a company called, I want to say it's called Valari. Let me look at the name was on it somewhere. Oh yeah, here it is. Again, I'm not getting kickbacks for this. I got it as a gift from Tiff and Laura here at Dandelion, but this is the company that makes it. It's called Valari, and oddly enough, they're for gaming. They're called the Ultimate Gaming Pillow, which, go figure. So the Valari Pillow, again, one of my favorite things. And lastly, I wanted to talk about, is the unconventional project bag. So there's so many, I've made my own project bags, which I'll focus on in another podcast, but I really love like these little fanny pack type. I don't use it as a fanny pack always, but I use it for my knitting. And this one, it was in collaboration with Marimekko through Uniqlo. It's a clothing store, I think has a pretty big online presence. You can find one in New York City, but I guess we have one here also at the Mall of America. I'm not sure. I detest malls, even though the Mall of America is here. I very rarely go there, and it is not far from my home. Anyway, I got this from Uniqlo and I love it. It's such a cute little, I love the pattern. It's probably good for, I used it for my camisole number 9 to just stick in here and take it wherever I might need to go or whatever. And it's fantastic. And it's supposed to be just a fanny pack. It's not supposed to be a knitting bag, but I love it. And the store here also has some amazing, I have to get one. Sorry, I have to get it. These are also so stinking cute. And these are from a company called, I think it's Rose in April. Oh yeah, Rose in April. And they have just the cutest patterns. Again, I don't think these are supposed to be designated as just knitting bags. They come in also, here at the store, they carry like little fanny pack ones that look like Vans, you know, the Vans with the little checkerboard pattern. Love them, love them. So between the pillow, when I do my favorite things on the podcast, I'm gonna always list 3. So my 3 favorite things are the nail concealer, nail polish by, if I'm saying it right, Kur, K-U-R. The Valari Pillow to help me eliminate pain while I'm knitting. And also the unconventional project bags. So this one by Uniqlo and these by Rose in April. They come in lots of different shapes and forms. So those are 3 of my favorite things. What am I excited to knit next? What's next? Well, I'm really trying to work down my stash, like many of us do. And so I do have, I'll focus on it the next podcast, but I do have a lot of Newton yarn. And I really want to make the Carla Cape by Ann Vensel. I think it's a beautiful long cardigan that will be fantastic for Minnesota fall, winter. I tend to run, due to my age, I do tend to run a little bit on the warmer side these days, but I feel like Newton is just really comforting for me because I can put it on and not get too overheated. I'm gonna do a single strand with mohair. So that's something that I'll talk about in the next podcast that is my next, one of my next cast-ons. I also wanted to talk about this Florencia Tea. And this was in Lina magazine, I wanna say last summer, which is super, super cute. It's just a little crop tee. I wear a little white camisole underneath it. It looks really similar to something like this, but this is fingering weight. I knit mine in Undine by Ritual Dyes, which we also carry here in the store. This color is called Prairie Flax, and I adore this little top. It is 100% cotton. At first, I had to really get used to knitting with this yarn. It felt like kite string for a while, but once I got used to it, just like this knitting for All of Pure Silk, once I got used to it, I was golden. But I love this pattern. I think it's really engaging. I think it goes really fast. It's a memorizable, I can't say it. You can memorize the pattern easily. How about that? Anyhow, in my next one, I'm teaching a class on it. So I will also knit it with the class. I would love to knit it in this color called New Growth, which is gorgeous, I think. But parts of me is like, maybe I should be more practical and knit it with something that would go with anything, which is, this one is, the color is Natural. But I knit the size small. I think the next time I knit it, I will make it a little bit longer. I might make the sleeves a little bit longer, because it is just like a little cap sleeve, but it's really darling. And every time I wear it, I get really great compliments on it. And I think that either way, I can't go wrong with either the Natural or that beautiful, it's called New Growth. So that's my plan. That's my plan in the coming days. I'm teaching this t-shirt class, so that should be done by the next time I make a podcast. And I think that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. You can find me on Ravelry at Where We Knit, although I am really bad, and it's another goal that I have for myself, to start documenting all my knitting, because you will see if you follow me on Ravelry, I haven't put projects in there for probably years, but that's the way it goes, I guess. And you can also follow me on Instagram, which I just opened this Instagram account to sort of coincide with this podcast. And that is also called Where We Knit, but it's where_we_knit. Thanks so much for watching, and I can't wait to come back to you with Where We Knit. Bye-bye.